ST04, Siege Strike. I definitely remember watching this series when I was a kid, and I know many of you guys do as well. So let's go ahead and open up this deck, check out the cards inside, and talk about the budget build on how we can utilize 2 copies and how we can get started.
Starter deck number 4, Siege Strike. I know this one's definitely a very popular series as well, but honestly I think all the 4 starter decks that they came out with for Gundam are like relatively popular series overall. But I know many of my friends are really excited for this one, so let's check this out. Inside the deck we have the box, we have the pamphlet with teaching you how to play and all that kind of stuff, kind of like a playmat at the back as well. And all that stuff. And then we have the bonus pack, which includes like a foil upgrade version or like a rarity bump version of a specific card inside the deck, which we'll get to check out and see just in a bit. Okay, so AVAULT Strike Gundam, many fan favorites. Love the artwork on this, which is really cool. Aegis Gundam, also another fan favorite. Really cool stuff. First time seeing this one because I've seen the AVAULT Strike in the beta box before, but this one looks cool too. And then Strike Gundam, this one just draws one and discards one. Mobius 0, just a vanilla. We got our Mobius, which is a 1-cost blocker for the deck. Strike Dagger, a 2-drop. Aegis Gundam MA mode, so it has Breach 3. So this is a mixture of both red and white together in colors combinations. We got a Gin, or Jin, Miguel's Jin, or Miguel's Gin. Reminds me of this character in the very first episode, for sure. And then here we are with the pilot cards. We got Kira Yamato, of course, which you ideally want to pair it and link it together with AVAULT Strike to get the bonus effects. Absolutely powerful house kind of card because you just minus AP to your opponent's like units as you kind of trade into them. And the new one with Aether and Zala, well, not new one, but I guess like new to me just because this is the first time seeing it in person. But you want to pair it together with Aegis Gundam, so you get the link effect. And this allows you to attack a active unit that's level 5 or lower. Okay, pretty cool. 4 of those. Striker pack, this is pretty good to help you play out like a token. I really like this artwork actually. I really like when Strike isn't like its color form yet, I guess. It hasn't been activated yet. Hawk of Endymion, which is both a command card and the pilot card of this deck. It also has a main action step kind of card that you can use to sort of like counter as well, so pretty flexible. We got Miguel, which is the pilot for the orange Gin that we saw earlier right here. Yep. And you do get a link effect together with that as well. There's also a command card, action as well. Archangel, which is a B-base card of this deck, allows you to reactive your blockers, but you just can't attack the same turn again. But it's still really good so that you can kind of attack and suspend. Got 3 of those, and we've got 3 of these, which is the other base card right here. Resource, EX base, EX resource, and really cool stuff. Like we got some really nice, awesome looking tokens too. You know, you can play off of the one of those cards that we saw earlier, I believe. Yeah, the Striker pack, I believe. That's how you play out these tokens. So we got the AO Strike token, we got a Launcher Strike token, and as well as a Sword Strike token. These were really cool. We gotta get I'm not sure we got a Sword Strike unit just yet. Maybe in GDO1. I can't remember exactly. But and then damage counter cards, which is very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the bonus pack to see what foil upgrade we get for this one. Ooh, we got Strike Dagger. For a second, I thought, oh, maybe we might get AVAULT Strike. But yeah, still really nice stuff, like really nice textures with hollow and foiling and such. Very nice. Like most of them, if you guys seen all the other like Gundam starter deck opening budget guides and videos that we've been covering on the channel so far, of course you want to open up a second copy. Generally, that's what I like to do for convenience, where we want to get the playsets of the certain cards for the deck, just because we're not guaranteed a 4 of everything from one purchase of a starter deck. So same contents just before. Don't think we got a god deck right here, so unlucky, which is not our time, but maybe in the future, you know, sometimes we got some crazy openings on this channel as well. But yeah, AVAULT Strike, exactly the same card. So you guys can see you got 2. So by getting the other copy of the deck, you get 4 in total, which gives you the best optimization to help you build your deck. Other cards, which we saw earlier as well just now, which there's only 3 like Gins. If you want to ever play 4, you need an extra copy. So I kind of see how they're doing it here as well. Yeah, 3 copies of Striker Pack. So everything's exactly the same, So yeah, no god deck, but we have a bonus pack. Let's see what we got here. Something cool. Oh, this is very nice. We got Aegis Gundam MA form in hollow foil upgrade. Now this looks nice. This looks very, very nice.
Starter Deck Siege Strike features the main characters that we all know and love from the series, with AVAULT Strike Gundam and Aegis Gundam. It combines the colors of white and red for a heavy control playstyle, which you have a ton of blockers from the white units, which are from the Earth Federation. As for the red portion, you got the ZAF cards that can deal damage to your opponent's units by removing them, and you control the entire pace of the game by establishing board advantage. By stopping your opponent's attacks with your big blockers, you eventually find opportunities to chip away at their base and shields bit by bit and eventually slowly win the game. So let's begin with the budget build. The deck itself also includes level 1 cards that you can play out with blocker, and I generally actually recommend not including these cards at the moment just because you want to focus your slots on other ramping cards that have higher stats, and you want to bring out your big bosses which give you a bigger return in the later stages. So with that being said, let's begin with our level 2 cards, which I'm playing 4 copies of Strike Dagger, a vanilla that has decent stats with 3-2. As for the other level 2, I'm running 4 copies of Miguel's Gin. This card gives you a little bit of draw power when you pair or when it's destroyed, as long as you have another linked unit in play. Level 3s, I'm running 4 copies of Mobius Zero, another vanilla with 2-4 stats, and you generally want to link it with Mula Flaga. Now let's talk about level 4s, which we begin with our first boss card of the deck, Aegis Gundam, which you definitely want to run 4 copies of. As long as this card has 5 or more AP during an attack, you get to deal 3 damage to one of your opponent's units that is level 5 or higher. Of course, it being the very first Gundam of Athern, that is the main pilot that you want to link towards it as well. Other than Aegis Gundam, it also has its MA form, which I'm also running 4 copies of. This one simply has Breach 3, so that when you take down the opponent's unit, you also get to deal 3 damage to your opponent's shield or base. And since this is also Aegis Gundam itself as well, you want to ideally link it together with Athern. For the rest of the level 4s, I'm running 4 copies of the regular Strike Gundam, which costs 2 resources to play, but once you deploy it out, you get to draw one and trash a card to help you cycle through your deck a little bit to potentially find pieces that you may need or answers against your opponent's board. And it also has the ability to link with Kira, which is the main pilot after all. But of course, that is not the only strike that we're playing, because now as we move on to level 5s, I'm playing 4 copies of AVAULT Strike Gundam. This is the main blocker of the deck, which provides you the defense to stop your opponent's attacks. And when you pair this card with a level 4 or higher pilot, you get to bounce one of your opponent's units that is 4 HP or less back to their hand. And generally, this is the one that you want to link together with Kira as much as possible. And speaking of Kira, now let's begin talking about pilots, which I'm running 4 copies of Kira Yamato himself. Other than providing additional stats of 2 AP and 1 HP, during an attack, you get to give an opponent's unit minus 2 AP to weaken them so as you can go for better trades. And since we talk about Aegis Gundam, the other main pilot is of course 4 copies of Athern Zala. Aside from giving your unit stat buffs with 1 AP and 2 HP, when you link it ideally with Aegis Gundam, it allows it to attack one of your opponent's units that's level 5 or lower, even if it was active. And now let's talk about command cards, which I'm running 2 copies of Mula Flaga. Other than being just a command card, itself is also a pilot card that you can pair it together with some of your units. Its command effect can be used during the main phase or action step so that you can bounce one of your opponent's units with 3 HP or less back to their hand. And then for the other command card, which is also a pilot, which I'm running 2 copies of Miguel. Its command effect gives one of your friendly units as level 2 or lower First Strike. What First Strike does is that it allows you to deal damage to an enemy unit during an attack. And since this is an effect damage that happens before the actual battle, there are times you're able to take down the opponent's units before it can deal damage to your own unit without losing any health. And then to round off the rest of the command cards, I'm running 4 copies of Striker Pack. It has a burst effect that can activate when your opponent checks your shield. As long as you have no Earth Alliance unit tokens in play, you get to immediately deploy a AVAULT Strike Gundam token that has 3 AP and 3 HP as well as blocker. Otherwise, during your main phase with the same requirement, you get to deploy either a Sword Strike Gundam that has 4 AP and 2 HP with blocker, or a Launcher Strike Gundam token that has 2 AP with 4 HP with blocker. And that wraps up for the command cards, and now let's talk about base cards. I'm running 3 copies of Archangel. By expending 2 resource cards once per turn, we get to set one of our blocker units as active once again, but it cannot attack during the turn. Its effect is great as it synergizes with our blocker so that we can make attacks and also set them back as active during the opponent's turn to potentially stop their attacks. But keep in mind, once you set your blockers active with this effect, you cannot attack with that same unit during the turn. And as for the other base, I'm running 3 copies of Vesalius, which allows us to give one of our friendly unit additional 1 AP by resting it during the main phase. Generally, I decided to split 3-3 on both of these base cards just because there's different usages at different times where they're equally as valuable. That's it for the budget deck guide. I'm excited for GD01 to come so that we can power up these starter decks with even more upgrades in the future. And if you guys want to see even more Gundam on the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay tuned. If you want to support me and the channel even further, make sure to grab the first assembly collection on the AVAULT store right now, which has all the essential TCG accessories that you need to get started. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is AVAULT signing out.